In one of my previous videos, I said my life is quite simple and ordinary, and ever since I said it out loud, I started thinking about it more. The definition of simple is easily understood or done, presenting no difficulty, or something plain and basic. We often say things like, those are simpler times, or call things like homemaking and farming a simple living. But aren't those things and those times anything but simple? Now we live in times where everything is at the reach of our hand, with literally little computers in our pockets. We can do so much without ever leaving the house, or the sofa for that matter. Technology undoubtedly makes our lives easier in many ways we can't even realize. But I have nothing against technology, and I do enjoy having certain luxuries that makes my life easier and simpler. Back in the day, the days that we call simpler, people had to spend more time for everything. If they wanted to make dinner, they either had to grow the food themselves or go to different markets or shops to find their ingredients. To have new clothes, they had to make them or have them made by someone, which definitely was taking longer than nowadays. And while I'm not saying those times were better, one thing I'm learning is that something you have made with effort has a lot more meaning to it, and you are less likely to waste it. Plus, your time was spent in a meaningful way. There is something about embracing the everyday life and actually enjoying the daily tasks. I think we have reached the point where we rather spend time scrolling on our phones than spending that time doing something we actually enjoy. For me, I enjoy home life and I am a true homebody. For that reason, my goal is to learn to love the everyday tasks, embrace them, and go deeper into learning more. Something I have discovered for myself is that I have a very anxious mind. And while that's nothing new, I have lived with anxiety my whole life. But what I have discovered is that even making my life as simple and stress-free as I can doesn't free me from those anxieties. For that reason, I am interested in things that you see on my channel. For my mental health, I need to engage in things that take my thoughts elsewhere, doing things that are not simple or easy, doing things that take me outside of my head and preferably away from mindless activities like scrolling on my phone. help my mental health and to learn something new, I want to embrace these kinds of activities more, like gardening, food preserving, cooking and baking, and something new that I have started, painting. While people would say this is a simple life, I would say it's anything but. I want to encourage a more meaningful and conscious lifestyle, engaging deeply into things that bring us more joy. And I want to put emphasis on engaging deeply. We all can make a meal by putting something together quickly, like putting a frozen pizza in the oven, which is totally fine, and there is time and place for that. But by engaging deeply, I see it as making a meal from scratch and setting that time for that in your day. And if you want to go more deeply, then looking at where your ingredients come from. Can you grow them? Or make them? Or try your best at using things you already have? So this year I want to make more meaningful meals, maybe make more homemade things like bread and pasta, be mindful of food waste, which when you have a garden can be a lot. Because more often than not, things grow 2 times more than you expected. Which brings me to food preserving. I want to learn more different ways to preserve what we have and actually use it, instead of going back to things I'm used to from the shop. As I mentioned earlier, I have started painting, and while I'm not very good at it, it's something that brings me joy, and I am determined to learn more about painting this year and practice as much as I can. This is my vision for the next year, and instead of setting goals, I want to embrace the action, the learning, embracing these activities and learning to love the ordinary, being in the middle, not achieving, just enjoying.